Good morning, children. Today I am going to teach you the 8th standard, second chapter, Geographic Features and Prehistoric India. In this chapter, we are learning about the physical features of India. Second, India is both, you already know, subcontinent and peninsula. Third, recognizing the neighboring countries of India. What are the neighboring countries of India? Fourth, the living style of man in prehistoric period. How they are living prehistoric period. Next class, the Stone Age. In this chapter, you already know that the geographical environment has influenced every country and people in the world. The geographical environment influenced every country and the people in the world. They are intimate relationship between human life and environment. There are intimate relationship between human life and environment. So what do you mean by geographic features? Example features, mountains, or else rivers, or else oceans, like that. Geographic features means betta, nadi, gudda, samudra, ಏನೇನಿದೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು geographical features ನೋಡಬಹುದು. So India is a subcontinent occupying a huge area in the southern part of India is a subcontinent occupying a huge area in the southern part of Asian continent. Here you can see, here you can see India. Here you can see India. It is the southern part of the Asian continent. It is occupying a huge area in the southern part. India is in Asian continent. There are 7 continents in the world. First one is India, Europe. You can see here Europe, Russia, Africa, North America, South America, Australia. There are 7 continents in the world. I already told you. Again, I am explaining to Russia, Europe, Africa, Australia, North America, South America. Both here you can see North America, South America. There are 7 continents in the world. India is known as subcontinent because it acquires a huge area in the southern part of Asian continent. For Europe, Russia, Australia, India, South America, North America. There are 7 continents in the world. Asia is the biggest continent. India is located in Asian continent. And as it is, why you call India is a peninsula? I already told you about subcontinent. India is called a subcontinent because it acquires a huge area in the southern part of Asian continent. Why we call it is as peninsula? Because it is surrounded by 3 sides of water. You can see here Arabian Sea, Arabian Sea, here Indian Ocean, here Bay of Bengal, so telling you India is known as it's a peninsula because India shares it is covered by water on 3 sides and the land on one side. Land it is covered on one side, 3 sides by water. Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean, and all it comes. So that's why underline that, children's page number 6, as it is surrounded by water on 3 sides and land on one side. Here you can see land. Here 3 sides water, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean, and here land, it is covered by land. That's why we call it is a peninsula. And India shares its boundary with Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Myanmar, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and etc. So here you can see Pakistan, here Afghanistan, China, here Bangladesh. You can see in your textbook Bhutan, Myanmar. Here Sri Lanka. These were the neighboring countries of India: Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Sri Lanka. They were the neighboring countries of India. Next, India has 29 states. 29 states, 7 union territories, which includes Delhi also. Delhi is the capital of India. There are 29 states, 7 union territories along with Delhi. Next, India's geographical features comprise Himalayan mountains in the Indo-Gangetic plain. Here you can see Indo-Gangetic plain. Here it will start Indo-Gangetic plain. Indo-Gangetic plain will come from here to Indo-Gangetic plain, the Deccan Plateau and the coastal region in the south. Here you can see Deccan Plateau. In your textbook also it's there, page number 8. Here you can see the Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau, here it becomes Indo-Gangetic plain. And the north includes the same of the tallest mountain peaks. Here you can see Mount Everest. It is the highest peak in the world. Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. When come to India, Mount K2, Godwin Austen, or else we call Godwin Austen or Mount K2. It is the first tallest peak in India. When come to our world, Mount Everest is the tallest peak. When come to the India, Mount K2 or Godwin Austen is the tallest peak in the India. They aim to preserve the safety and security of India. They also aim to preserve the safety for India. Any conclusions? Any safety, security of India? There have been few intrusions on ancient India from northern Himalayan region. The attacks have been ancient times was from valleys of Bolan and Khyber Pass. Bolan and Khyber Pass, it will come here. Bolan and Khyber Pass. Almost any attacks will happen from this side itself. You already know Pakistan is already, they were attacking India. Before that you saw in TV also they were attacking India. So almost it will come from Bolan Pass and Khyber Pass. It will attack. Underline that, children, it's very important. Page number 6. In page number 6, the attacks have been mainly from the northwestern side through the valleys of Bolan and Khyber Pass. Underline that, children. The flat Indo-Gangetic plains are very fertile. Fertile means adi ಫಲವತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಬೆಳೆ ಬೆಳೆದರೂ ಸಹ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಯಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So it's called as a fertile Indo-Gangetic plain. Next, Indus Valley and Vedic period is flourished here. From by this you can see that Indus Valley and Vedic period was flourished here. Many battles have been fought to control about this area. There are also battles also fought here in India. There are many dynasties control over fertile Gangetic plain also. India shares its boundary. I already told you it shares its boundary with Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, etc. Next, Indo-Gangetic plain. Why it is very important, Indo-Gangetic plain? Because it is very fertile and Indus Valley civilization and Vedic period are flourished here. It is very fertile and Indus Valley and Vedic period also flourished here. Many dynasties were established here. Many dynasties were established. You already know about dynasties. Sangama dynasty, Tulva dynasty, like these examples. Many dynasties were established here. Next, what are stretches? The Narmada river separates into Malwa Plateau or Central Islands and Deccan Plateau in the south. Here you can see the river Narmada here. It will come here. River Narmada. River Narmada separates into two plateaus. One is Malwa Plateau and Deccan Plateau. It separates into two plateaus, Malwa Plateau or Deccan Plateau. The Mauryans and Guptas were two areas ruled here. The Mauryans and Guptas were ruled by these plateaus also. The Indian coastline is is vast, stretches 6,100 kilometers. It is vast, stretches 6,100 kilometers. And the eastern coastline is called as Coromandel coastline. Eastern coastline. Here it becomes eastern coastline, Coromandel coastline, and the western is Malabar coastline. Malabar coastline and Konkan coastline. It will divide into two coastlines. One is Coromandel coastline, another one is Konkan and Malabar coastline towards India. And next, there are sea routes, and by this way, sea routes also discovered in previous class you have learned. Who discovered the sea route? Vasco da Gama discovered the new sea route to India. By this way, as a result, port towns flourished here. Ports are example, ships are landed here, and powerful kingdoms like south, like Pandyas and Cheras, Cholas came into establishment. So powerful kingdoms were Cholas, Cheras, like the Saturnine Children, and Pandyas also. The powerful kingdoms were established here. Next, and here snow-capped mountains also comes here. This one is called as snow-capped mountains. Here it becomes snow-capped mountains. Next, India is also known as unity in diversity. Means so unity in diversity. Togetherness state is India. Means unity. So it is called as unity in diversity. So India is in unity. Now oneness of spite in spirit, oneness of spite in presence also. Next, the prehistoric period. Next, these are the following geographic features. What I told you, these are the following geographic features. India is a subcontinent and it is also known as peninsula because it is surrounded by three sides: Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, and Indian Ocean also. So, and subcontinent, it is occupies a huge area in the southern part of the Asian continent. Next, the prehistoric period. Prehistoric period means ಪೂರ್ವ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮನುಷ್ಯರು ಇದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಕಲಿಬಹುದು. Prehistoric period, the period before the discovery of art of writing, the period before discovery the art of writing. The period is before discovering the art of writing is known as prehistoric period. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದಂತ ಟೈಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಶುರುವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ prehistoric period. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬರವಣಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಓದೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕವರಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್, ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಬಂದಂತ ಕಾಲ ನಾವು prehistoric period ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. How the man was living before that, before ancient time. This is so because we do not find any evidence of writing. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಬರವಣಿಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. And it is known as prehistoric period. Linguistic development and use of script. What do you mean by script? Script means ಲಿಪಿ, ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಂತಹ ಲಿಪಿಗಳು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋನ್ as prehistoric period. How do we get to know the people? So ಹೆಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ನಮಗೆ ಈ prehistoric period ಅವರು ಬದುಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಬಾಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಂತ. Next, archaeologists. In previous class I told you about archaeological sources. In this class, archaeologists. The scholars who study this period is known as archaeologists. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರೀ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಆರ್ಕಿಯಾಲಜಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. The scholars who study this period is known as archaeologists. Scholars means ತಜ್ಞರು ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Scholars means ತಜ್ಞರು. Next, who was nomad? Before that, the peoples were nomad. What do you mean by nomad? ಅಲೆಮಾರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಲೆಮಾರಿ means they were not staying at one particular place. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆ ನಿಲ್ಲೋದಿಲ್ಲ. They were changing their places. ಅಲೆಮಾರಿ ಅಂತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ nomad. Nomad. Nomad means ಅಲೆಮಾರಿ. They were searching of food and hunting and food gathering. So before that ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಉಪಹಾರ ಸೇವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು means they were hunting. Hunt ಮಾಡಿ ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ರು. Whatever it may be, animals. So they were hunting and eating, food gathering also. Archaeologists have discovered few tools. Andre archaeologists they were discovered few tools. Spears, axes, example tools andre axes, spears, arrows, bilu baana anta kuda navu helbodu. So bow and arrows, these were the tools discovered by the archaeologists on that time. They were studying about the nomad peoples. They were told that they were using the tools, axes, spears, arrows for what purpose? For hunting. So hunting goskara adana hunt ಮಾಡಿ animals hunt ಮಾಡಿ ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ರು. So they were strip the barks, the stone tools to peel the skin and separate the flesh of bones and animals. So they were using the tools because to peel the skin. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಚರ್ಮನ ಕಿತ್ತಾಕಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಚರ್ಮನ ಕಿತ್ತಾಕಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ they were using these tools and they were eating that bones of animals and they were using that bones of animals. They were using to scrap the trees, to scrap the bark of trees and to cut the fruits and the roots also. The people used to create handles out of bones and wood. So they were using the handles, bones. ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ವುಡ್ ಮರಗಳ ತುಂಡನ್ನು ತಗೋ ಮರಗಳ ತುಂಡಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಇವೆರಡನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಲಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದೆಮ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆರೋಸ್. ದೇ ವೇರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದೆಮ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆರೋಸ್. ದೇ ವೇರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವುಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆರೋಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ದೇ ವೇರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್. ದೇ used as access to chop down the trees and cut down them into logs. So they were using the axes to chop down. ಮರಗಳನ್ನ ಕತ್ತರಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವರು axes ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಅಥವಾ they were doing logs. You heard about logs. ಮರದ ತುಂಡು. ಸೊ ತುಂಡನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಕತ್ತರಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವರು ಇದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಯಾವನ್ನ ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ಸ್ and axes and all. Next they built a house like using the woods. They were building the huts and themselves and to make their weapons. The word prehistoric period provides this sort of vision. So nಮಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ prehistoric period ನಲ್ಲಿ? The man was nomad. He was hunting the animals using the bones of animals. He was made the tools, axes, spears and arrows. By using that spears and axes, he cut down the trees into logs and he made the huts. So mane huts anta ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. He made huts for this sort of vision were provided during prehistoric period by the archaeologists. By archaeologists who studied, the scholars who studied this period is known as archaeologists. Next, where did prehistoric man live? So ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅಥವಾ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು prehistoric man? He was the relics of hunting and food gathering are available in Bhimbetka, Hunsagi and Kurnool in India. So the man prehistoric period, the man living a gathering also. He living the remains of hunting and food gathering in Unsagi, Bhimbetka and Kurnool in India. He was living in most places were Bhimbetka, Unsagi, Kurnool. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು ಸಿಗ್ತಾರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ prehistoric period persons ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾರೆ. Bhimbetka, Unsagi, Kurnool in India. There are the many other sites and relics are being found. ಇದಲ್ಲದೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಇದ್ರು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ. So next, discovering on the banks of rivers and lakes. Furthermore, since stone was the tool, mainly they were using the stone. ಇವರ ಒಂದು ಟೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಯುಧಗಳು. ಇವಾಗ ಆಯುಧ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇನ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇವರು ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಟು ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ದೇರ್ ನೀಡ್ಸ್. ಎನಿ ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಇವ್ರ ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ನ ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವರು ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ನೌ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಆರ್ ರೆಸಿಡೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್. What do you mean by industrial areas and residential areas? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ದೇ ವೇರ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ವೇರ್ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು ಇರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಪ್ರೀಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ನೌ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಆರ್ ರೆಸಿಡೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಕರೀಬಹುದು. ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Next, how do we get to know about industrial sites? ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು industrial sites ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? Because usually I already told you they were using the stone tools. Stone tools ನ ಆಯುಧವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು and they were rejected some rocks unsuitable for their tools. ಇಲ್ಲಿ rocks ಬಂಡೆಗಳು unsuitable. So ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it was unsuitable ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರೀ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್ ನ ಅವ್ರು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಬಂಡೆಗಳನ್ನ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಅವರು ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, heaps of broken rock or stone chips obtained during the creation of implements in such areas. These sites are also known as residential sites or industrial sites. So where stones are available, they were living there. Prehistoric mans were living where stones are available. So they were living there, and it is also known as industrial sites or residential sites. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ prehistoric persons or prehistoric man. Next, knowledge of fire. How do they came into knowledge of fire? ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅವರು ಫೈರ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬಂತು ಫೈರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Next, signs of ashes have been obtained in the caves of Kurnool. What do you mean by signs of ash? Signs of ashes means ಬೂದಿ. ಬೂದಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Signs of ashes means ಬೂದಿ. So by this signs of ashes have been obtained in the caves of Kurnool. ಈ caves ಗುಹೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. caves ಆ ಒಂದು you already know tigers are living in caves also, lion. So caves of Kurnool ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ signs of ashes ಏನು ಅವರು ಸುತ್ತಿ ತಿಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಫುಡ್ ಗ್ಯಾದರಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಹಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆ ಬೂದಿ ಇದ್ದಂತ ಇದನ್ನ ಅವರು caves of Kurnool ನಲ್ಲಿ they were using the fire. By this they reveal the knowledge to use of fire by the people in the Stone Age. Probably their fire was used for various purpose. For what purpose they were using? For cooking the food or lighting ಅಥವಾ ಬೆಳಕಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, or else cooking the food and frightening the animals. They were using the fire to cooking, lighting and frightening the animals. Frightening the animals. They were using the fire by cooking the food and to lighting or to frightening the animals. Signs of ashes were provided in the caves of Kurnool. Next, drawing found in caves. ಆ ಒಂದು ಗುಹೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಕೂಡ, ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಥವಾ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಕೂಡ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. What are the drawings made by prehistoric man? ಏನೇನು ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು prehistoric man? They were doing some drawing on the caves which man was lived in, on the walls of caves on rocks. ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? Caves and rocks. They were made drawing on the caves and the rocks. And we can find these cave drawings in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. They were the beautiful drawings of wild animals and hunting. ಏನು ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು? ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಹಂಟಿಂಗ್, ಏನೋ ಹಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಆ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಆನ್ ದ ಕೇವ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ರಾಕ್ಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ದ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಗನ್ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್, ಪರಿಸರ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಯಿತು. Changing environment. Changing environment. How the environment changed. So ಪರಿಸರ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬದಲಾಯಿತು, prehistoric period ಇಂದ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅದು ಬದಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಯಿತು. So it is believed that 12 years ago a major change took place in Earth's environment. 12 years ago ಒಂದು ಮೇಜರ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಯಿತು. Unlike the children, it is believed that 12 years ago a major changes in the Earth's environment took place. The environment gradually began increasing. The temperature was increasing. The temperature was increasing on the earth. So on this the grasslands were growing. Grasslands. ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯಿತು ಅರ್ತ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಗ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯಲಿ. ಗ್ರಾಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಹುಲ್ಲುಗಾವಲು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಹೋಯಿತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ it birds and animals began to multiply in unprecedented numbers. Means birds and animals yaವಾಗ temperature earth temperature was gradually increased, so grasslands also increased. On that time birds and animals gradually increased. Birds and animals ನೋಡಿದಂತೆ so birds ಮತ್ತು animals ಕೂಡ increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಯಿತು. There was unprecedented numbers, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಆ ಥರ gradually it was increasing. Animals like deer, elks, goats, sheep and other prospered in this grassland. So first to underline that ಯಾವ animals first ಬಂದು deer, elks, goats, sheep and others ಬೇರೆ animals ಕೂಡ gradually it was increasing. Humans who had been hunting animals began to observe their nature food. ಏನು ಈ prehistoric man ಹಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ಶೀಪ್ ಗೋಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು. ಸೊ ಈ ಬಿಗ್ಯಾನ್ ಟು ನೋ ದ ನೇಚರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಊಟ ತಿನ್ನುತ್ತೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಒಂದು ಶೀಪ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಗೋಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ಬಿಗ್ಯಾನ್ ಟು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಈಟಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಫುಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಫುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಸ್. ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ದ ನೇಚರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಸ್. When gradually the birds and animals were increasing, the humans began to observe the nature and food habits of animals. Like this, they brought him over a period of time. They captured some of animals. So ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನಗಳ ನಂತರ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. One of the animals, sheep, goats example, he was captured and he brought them up as animal husbandry and dairy farming. Once again I am telling you children, the changing environment, there was 1,000 years ago a changing was happening Earth's temperature. The temperature was increased. On that time the grasslands also increased. On this time birds and animals were grown in unprecedented numbers. After that humans began to observe the nature and food habits of animals and he came to be and he preserved some of the animals and he made animal husbandry and dairy farming. So ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಂದು ಗೋಟ್ ಶಿಪ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಸಾಕಾಣಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಆಗ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಡೈರಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ he learned catching fish also. After the animal husbandry, after that dairy farming, he learned catching the fish. He learned catching the fish in the streams and lakes. Lakes and the streams, and he learned about catching the fish and to eat. So he bearing grown and actually they learned to use them as food, grains and cereals like rice, wheat, barley. After that, one by one, animal husbandry, dairy farming, and lastly catching the fish in lakes and streams. After that, he learned to grow the grains. Grains, example, wheat, ragi, rice, cereals. He learned to grow the grains like wheat, ragi, rice, cereals, etc. Like this, the period was discussed by different names. There were the 2 years ago. The oldest age is called as the Old Stone Age. Underline the children's page number 10. Gradually, they learned to grow them too. They learned to grow the wheat, ragi, rice, cereals. And page number 10, the age that prevailed 2 million years ago, the age that prevailed 2 million years ago is known as oldest age and it is called Old Stone Age. And 2 million years ago, ಬಂದಂತ ಕಾಲನ ನಾವು Old Stone Age ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ and it stretched over a period of 12,000 years ago. And this long duration has been discussed in 3 stages. One is the early, middle and late Old Stone Age. So here you can see this, the drawing of prehistoric age, Old Stone Age, Middle Stone Age, New Stone Age. In Old Stone Age there were 3: early Old Stone Age, Middle Old Stone Age, late Old Stone Age. Here you can see the Old Stone Age, Middle Stone Age, New Stone Age. In Old Stone Age, there were 3 ages: early Old Stone Age, Middle Old Stone Age, late Old Stone Age. So the period from 12,000 years to around 10,000 years is called Middle Stone Age. 12,000 to 10,000 years is known as Middle Stone Age. Underline the children's page number 10. 12,000 years to 10,000 years is called Middle Stone Age. Gradually very small and hence very delicate stone tools. Here it is very small, middle means very small age and very delicate. Our time is ತುಂಬ delicate ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಆದರು ಯಾರು human beings. Next, they were fixed stone tools with handles made out of woods and bones. They used tools as axes and saws. Axes means ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ axe. ಕೈಗೊಳ್ಳದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ saws. The man using in Middle Stone Age the axes and saws made out of bones and woods. So axes means kaigodali, saws means garagasa. They along with tools the old kind too continued to be used. Here you can see they were using the weapons. The weapons used by prehistoric man. The weapons, here you can see the weapons they were using by prehistoric man, or humans. The New Stone Age began after 10,000 years. So after 10,000 years, the New Stone Age began. The New Stone Age was began after 10,000 years ago. The stone of this tools period different from the earlier periods. Means e period in the what Middle Stone Age, Old Stone Age, e period in the New Stone Age was different from earlier. People of this age using grinding stones and leaves, herbs. The people using grinding stones. Herbs, grains. ಸೊ ಒಲ್ಕದಂತ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಗ್ರೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ರಾಗಿ ಬೀಸೋ ಕಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ ಈಗ ಕೈಗೆ ಬೀಸ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ರೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್. ದೇ ವೇರ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ at that time. Some pots and pans. Pots also used. Pots ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಡಕೆಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇವರು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್? ಟು ಸ್ಟೋರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್. ಏನು ಇವರು ಬೆಳೆದಂತ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಹರ್ಬ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ವೇರ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ pots. It is very different from the old stone age and middle stone age. They were using pots and pans for storing the food. They were also used for cooking rice and other grains also. So they were used the pans and pots for cooking the grains or else cooking the food. People of this age to learn weaving cloth. At last they learned to weaving cloth. That's all. Thank you. So geographical features I told you about the geographical features of India. Himalayan mountains, Indo-Gangetic Plain, Indo-Gangetic Plain, Himalayan mountains, and coastal areas, Deccan Plateau. Here coastal areas, Konkan coast, Malabar coast, Coromandel coast, this are and Deccan Plateau, Malabar Plateau. So these are the Indian geographic features. Here you can see Arabian Sea, Sri Lanka, Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal. Here you can see the land towards the India land was explained. Next, the discovery of art of next prehistoric period. Prehistoric period. The art of writing before the discovery of writing is known as prehistoric period. And who studied this is known as, who are studying this period is known as archaeologist. And in this you can see the places, Bhimbetka, the stones, they were using the stones as tools. Bhimbetka, Unasagi, Karnool, and they also done the drawings on the caves of Karnool. Next, animal husbandry and dairy farming and catching the fishes, and also they learned how to grow the grains, cereals, rice, wheat, barley, etc. in this prehistoric period. How the man learned, ಹೇಗೆ ಅವರು prehistoric period ಇಂದ ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಟೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಟೂಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ he made axes, saws, spears, arrows by using the stones and also by using the woods. He made logs also. And after that old stone age, middle stone age and new stone age came into existence. That fill in the blanks, children. Geographically India is a peninsula. I already told you. Why we call India as a peninsula? Because it is surrounded by water three sides and land by one side. Here land it was covered on one side. So that's why India is known as subcontinent and also it is known as peninsula. Signs of ashes have been found in the caves of Karnool. I already told you signs of ashes andre boothi. Ee boothi elli siktu anta ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ Karnool nalli, caves of Karnool nalli. Next, the tools of the middle stone age are called delicate stone tools. ಏನಿದು delicate ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಯಾವನ್ನ middle stone age na. These are the figures in your, and they describe the geographic features of India briefly. So describe, I already told you, Indo-Gangetic Plain, Himalayan mountains, Deccan Plateau, coastal plains, Bolan and Khyber Pass here in northwestern sides. It will come here, Bolan and Khyber Pass. Next, eastern coastline is known as Coromandel coast. This is east, west. Eastern side Coromandel coastline, in western side Konkan coastline and Malabar coastline. These are all geographic features of India. Next, what are the valleys through which the attacks of India have been taken place? The valleys I told you, attack was taken place by Bolan and Khyber passes. Next, what is meant by prehistoric age? The period before the discovery of art of writing is called prehistoric period or as prehistoric age. the animal husbandry. The man came to know about the food habits of animals, and he done the animal husbandry and dairy farming, and also catching the fishes, and also growing the grains. The different periods of prehistoric have been various names by archaeologists. Who are they? So the name was given by archaeologists. The names was Early Stone Age, Middle Old Stone Age, Late Old Stone Age. That's all, children, in this chapter. Thank you.